Good morning, everybody. Yeah, welcome. My name is Dr. Caesar Iyayi. I'm a patriotic Nigerian. I believe that Nigeria will succeed. I believe that the success of Nigeria will usher in the development of the black race. Up to now, the black race is not contributing to the development of mankind. I say that with the full emphasis that it deserves. We can delude ourselves, but the truth remains that without the industrial efforts of the developed world, the black race will remain in the dark. The good thing about it is that we are not helpless. If we remain focused and we are able to identify our vision, we as a country, within a short spell, have categorized the book number one as the immediate term. By immediate term, I'm referring to a period of about 1.5 years. Medium term, I refer to it as a period of about 1.5 to 3 years. Long term in my book is anywhere from 3 years onwards. Why did I do that? We're in a democracy, and a president is elected for 4 years. A governor is elected for 4 years. House and legislators are elected for 4 years. So you can understand the apprehension they have if you expect them to key into a program where you are talking about a project that will be actualized in 10 years. There will be no incentive. So we have to look at the problems that are in front of us. The definition of intelligence is the ability to be able to identify your problems and look for solutions. Solutions that are possible in America may not be possible in Nigeria. And the solutions that are possible in Nigeria may not be possible in the UK. So we must identify our problems and recognize the need for us to tailor our solutions to deal with our problems. There are many problems that people talk about. I am not interested in repeating the problems that we have in this country. They are numerous. What I want to tell our sitting president, all our 36 state governors and elected officials across the country, is that Nigeria occupies the centerpiece of the possibilities of how black people can industrialize. That is, for us to have the capacity to be able to produce what we consume. At the moment, we consume what we do not produce. When I came back from the US in 1988, I said in Nigeria, we consume what we do not produce, and then what we produce, we do not consume. What I meant then was that the only product we were producing was petroleum, oil crude. Nothing has changed since then. But the time has come for us to think about a change. Because 2040, the Western world, the industrialized world, they have agreed that they are going to discontinue the use of fossil fuel and focus on renewable energy. Are we going to drink our crude oil? 80% of our foreign exchange is derived from export of crude oil. So 18 years from now, are we going to wait to be caught off guard? That is why I have written this book. The ABC of how to industrialize Nigeria. I have paid special attention and directed the emphasis to the sitting president and the sitting governors, because they hold all the powers within the parameters of the Nigeria Federation. It is their duty to ensure that the policies, the strategies, the step-by-step elucidated in this book are implemented. Without the purposeful interest of the president, of the sitting president, and the governors, nothing will ever be achieved in this country. So, what are the critical points that are talked about in this book? If you want to produce finished products, the first thing that you need is electricity. We do not have it, but we can have it. And if we are serious, we can have it within 9 months, in clusters. In my book, I believe in Nigeria. I'm not a sectarian. I've heard people talk about how to divide the country. For me, Nigeria is not even big enough. My book is focusing, beginning from the immediate term, how every state in the Federation can come to the South-South, establish industrial zones where each state will have authority in collaboration with the state where the gas is being flared. We flare our gas to waste for safety reasons, because in our efforts to extract oil, the gas is escaping. If you don't set it on fire, it will lead to a colossal disaster. So right now, we are flaring the gas. The proposal in this book is that the sitting president and the governors should come together, look at all the enabling laws and make adjustments so that we can focus on how each state will have an industrial zone where gas is being flared. The federal government, with the authority and permission of the president, should authorize Nigerian entrepreneurs to tap into the gas that we are flaring, that we are wasting, for Nigerian entrepreneurs to use it free of charge. The benefits are numerous. Many people who are bureaucrats will say, no, they must pay for it. But we are wasting it already. If you allow Nigerian entrepreneurs to use it, they will be able to produce finished products. One, you create employment, reduce unemployment. Two, products that we import, we cannot produce them right there at the spot. Three, instead of exporting our foreign exchange, we are conserving it to be used for other critical areas that are needed. So where do we start from? When the tsunami took place in Japan, their nuclear reactors were destroyed. Japan immediately went to the United States made contact with General Electric, and they got an electric furnace that is trailer mounted. It is mounted on a trailer. They were flown in from the USA to Japan within weeks. And within a space of 2 months, they restored power to Japan. If you cannot fly them in, you can ship them in. Let the federal government, let the president, the sitting president, let the governors work together in synergy and allow Nigerian entrepreneurs to bring in this mobile furnace. It is called LM 2500. The cost is $11.4 million. It can generate 23 to 32 megawatts of power. They can be synchronized. If you want more power, you bring them together and you synchronize, so you generate more power. What can we do with this? We start from the basics. There are 118 elements on the earth crust known to science, available to science. 88 are naturally occurring. Oxygen at 48% is the most dominant. The second is silicon. Why am I talking about silicon? Silicon is sand. It is everywhere. So we are in darkness in Nigeria because we are producing about 3,000, sometimes 4,000 megawatts. And we are in darkness. If we bring you this LM 2500 that can generate 23 to 32 megawatts, and you tap it, connect it to gas, you can generate power within 6 months. The mistake that is made is that they make effort to take that power from that source to the cities, which are maybe about hundreds of kilometers away. Because of the Joule's effect, as you transmit, you lose power. As they say, if the mountain will not go to Muhammad, Muhammad should go to the mountain. I want the federal government to encourage Nigerian entrepreneurs to take this electric furnace to where we are flaring gas and connect it. The next step, because the first product that I think we should start with is what we can produce here, and there will be a huge demand for it, and that is solar panels. My house is powered by solar panel. They are imported from India and from China. It is made from sand, from silicon. Solar panel, just like this telephone, it has glass in the front made from sand. That is white sand. You bring in, after you have the electric gas furnace, the next plant that you need is the plant that can melt sand to liquid at 1,700 degrees Celsius plus. Sand will be converted to liquid. Silicon is an element. So from sand, which is available everywhere, we don't have to import it. We can make glass, which will be in front of the solar panel. Because the solar panel is glass in front. In the center, you have solar cells. At the back, you have glass again. And then you have aluminum frame. Can we make this in Nigeria? Can we do that within 1.5 years? The answer is yes. We have the commitment. Because once you can generate power, you can make glass. All you need to do is to bring in the machines that are used to produce glass. You connect it to the furnace, and you can melt sand to make glass. You have done the first assignment. Second assignment, how do you make the solar cells? Again, solar cells are made from silicon. In this case, it's called silicon dioxide. In chemistry, dioxide means two atoms of oxygen attached to one element. So it's two atoms of oxygen attached to one atom of silicon, and you have silicon dioxide. That is the high-grade material that you need. It is called quartz. They are available everywhere in Edo State, everywhere in Nigeria. Quartz. It is called silicon dioxide. High grade. It is the same material that you will put inside the furnace that you will melt to liquid. And the machineries that you will attach to it, they are all available for sale. We'll bring those machineries in. Everything will be taking place at the point where gas is being flared. So we don't have to waste energy. We don't have to consider the cost of transmitting power through conductors and high power tension to a location, and then bring it down to step it down with transmission again so that we can generate power. Let us take our own Muhammad to the mountain. And the mountain in this case now is where we flare gas. So, it is the same material that you can now use to pass through up to 100 different processes for you to achieve solar cells. So you see, it's not nuclear physics, it's not brain surgery, it is common sense, has been made available. Science has made things possible for us, and the white people, in their graciousness, have documented all these things. They have made it possible for us to acquire the machines. If we are serious, if we realize that the black race is in danger, see what China is doing to Hong Kong now, to Taiwan. They've taken over Hong Kong, and they are telling Taiwan they are taking over Taiwan. A time will come, half of China is the Himalayas. The whole west of China is the Himalayas. So 1.6 billion people are crowded only within the eastern part of China. They need land. And where do you think that land is available? Where there are resources. Where they have no opposition. It is Africa. We have 18 years to start doing something. And I tell you, Nigerians are arguably the smartest people on earth, the most resilient. We have the greatest shock absorbers. Where everybody will collapse, Nigerians will persevere. And we have the sagacity, the industrial and the managerial capacity to get these things done. All we need is a direction. When you assemble 2,000 professors, if you assemble 2,000 clergymen, if you assemble 2,000 imams, without credible leadership, you have a mob, you have a crowd. Right now, what we have is a crowd. We need a direction, we need leadership. This book is offered it to our sitting president. And we are telling our sitting president that we have the resources to start and get this done. We should start from somewhere. And within a short time, if we bring in the expatriates after bringing in these machineries to work, to teach us how these things are made, within 3 years, Nigerians will know more than them. I have seen it happen. In the early 90s, I was exporting finished wood products. The tolerance was 1.2 millimeter tolerance. So we brought in expatriates to teach us. They managed us for about 3 years. After that, Nigerians took over. We didn't need them anymore. This is what the Chinese did. When they were building the huge dam, they got the Italians to come. They said the condition is that you must teach our people how to do it. After that, they started building their own dams. So we have the capacity. 220 million people filled with energy, filled with ambition. If Nigerians know that they can benefit from something, they go all out to achieve it. If you go to Ghana, every 3 years, they chase Nigerians out. Because the Nigerians there, they took over the businesses. If you go to Tanzania, go to South Africa, Nigerians, they thrive. If we can thrive outside, why can't we thrive at home? So it is up to the president to give us a direction. This is a simple policy. I have made sure that it is not restricted to only the South. It is for the entire country. Now, when I was writing this book, a contract was awarded to the Chinese to take gas pipeline from Ajaokuta to Abuja to Kaduna, Kano, and Sokoto, $2.7 billion. We can do these things by ourselves. Why? What is a gas pipe? A gas pipe is iron. Iron is selling in the international market at $301 per ton. Let's not talk about Ajaokuta. Ajaokuta is a different kettle of fish. It's clarified in the book. There's no time to talk about that now. That is not a project that is feasible. But Delta Steel Complex is feasible because it has a direct reduction furnace. Ajaokuta has a blast furnace. A blast furnace, when you turn it on, you must leave it on for 10 years. If it goes off, it can never come back on again. But what we have in Delta Steel, I believe the founding fathers, when they realized they made a mistake in Ajaokuta, they corrected it. They now went for a direct reduction. Direct reduction is suitable for our system, where you can turn it on and turn it off, turn it on again and turn it off. But I must tell you this, our iron ore is not rich enough. It's just 33% iron content. The industrial average is 66%. So in terms of producing iron from iron ore at Itakbe, that should be a project that should take place 150 years from now, when the iron ore in Ukraine, in Russia, Australia have been exhausted. Then we'll not come back to that. In the meantime, we can buy iron ingot for $301 per ton. If you bring that in to Delta Steel Complex and you want to make a pipe, you heat it up. When it becomes red, it goes to the rolling mill. By the time it passes through several rolling mills, something that is a square or rectangular, within a few minutes, it's a flat sheet of plate. Like this. And something that was like this, because you have applied heat to it, it has passed through. They are all there. They have passed through the processes. becomes thin like this. So you take it and you fold it, you wet it, you have a pipe. You want to take gas from here to Maiduguri. It's just to import the iron ingots. You pass it through the same process. Nigerians with excavators are digging, they are welding. With the electron microscope, you can check to see if there are holes in it. They are all explained in the book with pictures. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. And step by step, we are moving on. So my long-term plan is that eventually, the gas that we have in the south will be taken to everywhere in Nigeria where industries can be set up there. The second part is that the same Ajaokuta, we can make a railway track. All our roads are being destroyed because we are putting too much load on them. If you go to Switzerland, once a truck gets to the border, it climbs on top of a train to take it to the destination. They don't want to destroy their roads. So the heavy loads, including passenger trains, you can make the track at Ajaokuta. What is a train? It's just iron. If you take that iron, we have electric arcs that can melt that iron to liquid. You make this same plate I'm talking about, it stamps it, you get the body. If you are making a car, go to check the assembly line. You see a flat plate, it gets to a point, they stamp it, it brings out the boot, they stamp it again, they bring out the door, they stamp it again, bring out the bonnet. You want to make the engine block, you melt the iron, you make a mold, pour the liquid into it, when it's solid, you bring it out, and it goes to the next stage, machine tools. What do you do at machine tools? You take the product that you have made in crude form, it goes into the machine tools, and they will machine it, high precision, clean everything very neat. You don't have an engine block, you don't have a cylinder head, you don't have a crankshaft. This is not rocket science. You have everything. What is the problem of South Africa? Energy. But even then, we are producing 4,000 megawatts. They are producing 60-something thousand megawatts. And they are using coal. If they had gas, maybe they will be producing 1 million megawatts by now. But we can do it. What other countries cannot do, Nigeria can do it. I'm telling the federal government, you have your expenditure the way you spend it. I have written the book in such a way, because I'm not a politician, I'm not interested in politics. I'm not going to say, oh, if you can remove this man and put this other man to be better, where are you going to get the angels from that you are going to use to replace them? The book is written around the concept that the system the way it is, yes, we have corruption. Yes, we have insurgency. Yes, we have Fulani herdsmen. Yes, we have kidnapping. We have issues between the North and the South. People talking about devolution. People talking about separating the country. People talking about restructuring. Within all this put together, without even having to deal with any of those problems, I submit to you, Mr. President, that if we follow the steps in this book, we will be able to industrialize Nigeria. And this issue that we are fighting over, allocation, monthly allocation, will become a joke. Because the industrial output, the revenue that will be generated, the value added that will be created, will be so gigantic that the so-called money we are talking about, that we are getting from crude oil, will become something that is infinitesimal by way of comparison. What is the GDP of Nigeria? What is the GDP of South Korea? A country that has nothing. What's the GDP of Japan? They don't have oil. Go and check it out. We don't live, not on the same street, we don't live in the same continent. They are way ahead. So it is time we remove the idea of fighting over allocation and focus our attention on how each state, how the president and the governors can come together and encourage the private sector, Nigerian private sector, not Lebanese, not Indians. Delta Steel Company was taken over by the Indians 15 years ago. They have not produced one sheet of iron. They have a reason for it. They prefer to import it. Their duty is to protect their interest. Our duty is to protect our interest. What I've written in the book is that all the privileges that people in government enjoy, they can continue to enjoy it. But let us direct some of our resources into industrializing our country so that we can create jobs, so that we can add value to raw material, so that we can prove to the rest of humanity that we as black people, we have the capacity to compete and to contribute to the development of mankind. I think we have the ability to do it. I think the president should really sit down and think about it, because by 2040, it will be too late. Not only for us, but for the black race. This is the time for us to start doing something right now. And I only talked about producing solar panels now. Electric cars can be produced because it's even cheaper. There are 2,000 or 20,000 moving parts in an internal combustion engine. Electric cars, just 20. So we can produce aluminum. Aluminum is produced from bauxite. I have not been able to ascertain the quality of bauxite that we have in Nigeria. But Guinea, which is just 3,000 kilometers from our shore here, Bight of Benin, a ship just goes around and is there. From Guinea, you can get bauxite. It's $35 per ton. From 8 tons of bauxite, you can produce 1 ton of aluminum. And what you need, while many countries cannot produce it, is electricity. Why can't other countries do it? They don't have gas. Why can Nigeria do it? Because we have gas. Why are we not doing it? Maybe because we have not focused our attention on it. The time is now. If we take some vessels, a good strategic plan, we can buy some vessels. All these things should be handled by Nigerian entrepreneurs. The serious ones amongst the Nigerian entrepreneurs. Not the type we did with the acquisition of all those Nigerian wets. The people that bought them, I say this without apology, they have no industrial acumen. They have no business intellect. You can have money without having desire to work, because that money came by magic. However, there are entrepreneurs in Nigeria that have the ability to organize themselves to the point where government can support them with very low interest loan to power these projects. We talk about power failure in Nigeria. You hear that there's a rainfall and some pole fell, and then there's no power for 2 weeks. Nothing is done about it. When they talk about it, they'll say the case is in court. As I've asked the president to please use his power to remove all these unnecessary obstacles. The laws, the constitutions, they were written to promote the development of Nigeria, not to pretend over the destruction of this country. So when people sign an agreement that they will be able to improve power distribution, after a year they have not been able to do it, they should be removed and replaced with competent people. You continue to remove and replace until you get the right people. What we have done to ourselves is grossly unfair. It's grossly unfair because we allow sentiment to prevail over logic. Because somebody is occupying a high position, I don't know where he got the money from, he go and buys a BEDC, and then he's supposed to distribute light he cannot give, everything is left to stand still. You just remain in darkness forever. Something should be done about that. And this project, for it to work, government must not allow this type of lackadaisical attitude to prevail. If somebody is giving loan, if a group of people, they are giving loan and they are not able to perform, it should be removed from them and give it to other people. There are many intelligent people in Nigeria that can get this done. Look at the banking sector. 20 years ago, who would think that you can have Nigerians run banks that run efficiently the way they are? I know, of course, they make very cheap money through SMS tax that they are giving us. But in any case, we have made progress in the banking industry. So if Nigerians can make progress in the banking industry, that means that we can also make progress in the industrial manufacturing sector. And that is where our redemption lies. We should put all our energy into manufacturing. All our attention should go into manufacturing. Let us use what we have, which is gas, to manufacture products. I was talking about bringing bauxite from Guinea. It's just 3,000 kilometers. From 8 tons of bauxite at $35 per ton. How much is that? About $280 or so. Let us add shipment, whatever you want to call it. And others, I say it's 600. Okay, you bring it here. I propose in the book that the government, despite what Dangote is doing, wants to build the biggest refinery in the world, it should allow Nigerians who are into this effort to bring in some modular refineries where they buy crude oil from the Nigerian government and produce diesel to power the ship that will go to Guinea to collect the bauxite. When you bring in the bauxite, right at the shores, you produce aluminum there because you need 17 megawatts hour of electricity to produce 1 ton of aluminum. And 1 ton of aluminum, if you go to the internet now, you see it's almost $3,000. So you see the disparity is wide. we talk about Japan, all our rich people, I don't see anything wrong with it. If you have worked hard and you want to drive the best cars, it is okay. We are not into communism or socialism. I went to China. They deceived us. They are practicing capitalism, not socialism at all. They have the best cars, the best airplanes, the best hotels, the best of everything. So I'm not against people having the best cars. Everybody should strive for it. It's part of humanity. But what is the point I'm trying to make now? Japan doesn't have iron. They import iron. They produce the iron there. And then they now produce Toyota. A Jeep that is selling for $80,000 is weighing about 2.5 tons. That Jeep is 80% iron. 1 ton of iron is $301. So let us say it is 3 tons. $900. You bring it in here. Maybe at the cost, double it to say $1,800. Take it to a data steel company. You melt it to produce engine block and whatever. You take it to produce plate. You stamp it to make the doors and whatnot. So you see, something that is $1,800 at generous calculation, because you have been able to add value to it by taking it from the state of iron ingot. It goes through, if you want to produce engine block, you melt it into liquid and you produce engine block. It goes to machine tool, they machine it to engine block, they machine it to crankshaft and all the other parts you want to make. You want to make the door, you hit the iron until it gets to molten state, you make a plate, you take it to the next part and you stamp it, you get a door. If you are interested, sort of just using your social media to watch films or so, go into manufacturing and see how things are done. You will be completely overwhelmed. You'll be awed. Because within seconds, you will see a machine will stamp a flat plate, boom. Next thing you are seeing a door. It stamps, boom, you are seeing a boot. Just like that. In Sweden, they are making 1 car every minute at one of the assembly plants. Every minute they make 1 car. What are we doing? We are in churches singing. So, we need direction. And the president, I'm encouraging him, I'm begging him, pleading with him as a patriotic citizen. He will serve his term and somebody else will come in there. Let that person continue to look at the book. Let us have a focus so that we can contribute to the development of mankind. We can produce all these things. I was watching a program on how the rocket boosters are produced. It was just produced in one small factory. They brought aluminum sheets, they folded it, and they just started doing the rebating. Said it will take them 14 days to make 1 rocket booster. That is what would take the solid liquid oxygen, hydrogen, that would shoot a rocket into space. But it's just aluminum. So by the time you find out you can do these things, you'll be surprised. Look at soap. We cannot even produce soap in Nigeria. You think we make soap in Nigeria? No. Why? Soap is made from a product called sodium hydroxide. And sodium hydroxide, I know I told you just now, I said hydroxide means that you have 2 atoms of oxygen bind to another element. So what is sodium hydroxide? Sodium hydroxide is produced from sodium chloride, our table salt. We have salt deposit in Ebonyi State, large salt deposit. But salt by itself, it's not expensive. It has no industrial application. But if you take the same salt, you put it inside water and melt it through what you call direct current, DC current, not alternating current now, DC current. You do electrolysis. It will separate the 2 elements that make salt, which is sodium and chlorine. To remove the chlorine, that chlorine, you're not going to waste it, you're going to capture it and save it. It has industrial application. What is now left is sodium hydroxide, which people know as caustic soda. We do not produce it in Nigeria, we import it. So that is what they bring in here. They now add palm oil to make soap. Is that too much for us to do? So we should wake up. We should set up a team that will brainstorm on all the things that we can do, and then we'll make conscious effort. I heard that, I don't know, because there are too many rumors in this country, that they are going to give 5,000 naira to, I don't know how many, to 40 million Nigerians. Please take your calculator and multiply that figure. And ask yourself, if you give somebody 5,000 naira, what is it going to do for that person? Nothing. But if that money is, you take that money and you look for entrepreneurs that will submit collaterals, key into this program, and watch out in 1 year, you will see magic. All the darkness you see in Nigeria, once we start producing solar panel, they will start to disappear. Because it will be affordable. Right now, one solar panel is about $90,000 naira. If you suppose you can produce it at 4,000 naira or 5,000 naira, before you know it, Nigeria, instead of talking about 3,000 megawatts, because if you add the one from this house to the other house to the one in this street to the one, before you know it, you're talking of 100,000 megawatts. A quantum leap, is that not? Just from one element, just from gas, just from sand, just from quartz, and all because we have been able to channel our resources, our brain, and to focus our direction, to be focused. This is what we want to do, want to achieve it, we are determined to do it, and then we'll get it done. I think I have said enough. If you have questions.
Thank you, General. No. Question.
That no country is there when no platform is trying this or something like that.
Yes, I alluded to that by emphasizing Nigeria that sponsors you, say, go to Congo. They have cobalt there. Want to start mining it. Give you 1% income.
That's why you cited the example of India and DSC.
So it's my foreigners. To the effort of the indigenous. That 1,000 surgeons, 1,000 reverend fathers together without good leadership. Because the sitting president, before his term will expire, can still do magic. Even if you are a governor and you only have 2 years left, you can still do magic. Whatever capacity that you serve in government, you fail the country. to galvanize Nigerian entrepreneurs, Nigerian industrial sector. We should be able to do all these things. The memory in this phone, the computer chips, everything, they are all made from quartz, silicon. That is why it's gracious to get Nigerians together. That money, that's 5,000 want to give to 40 million people. Please, see if you can use it to encourage the private sector, because that will give these 40 million people jobs. It will give the federal government revenue. It will reduce importation. Thank you so much, sir.
I think I will say that
We cannot advance without industrialization. Now the question is, we talked about provocation right now. We are not talking about the need to bring electricity. There is this fear that there has been kind of sabotage of the system. For example, by those who import generators to this country. The moment you bring in, we're able to have electricity, it will mean they are all part of business. And so there is this conspiracy of a certain class.
The machine too can make itself. It is the magic of high tolerance. So I think it is my opinion, but that is why you can deal with them. I'm not into politics, I'm not into government, but if I was,
if you as you make up your writing, let's see how we can begin to sensitize our friends in politics who prefer to use a man with white skin to execute a contract and to give it to a black man. So some of the things he has said in this book, and we don't know sand, except the school have to buy sand to show them the laboratory. But then